This is one of the best horror films I've seen since Hereditary. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love horror as much as I do, then you're definitely in the right place. Today I want to talk about a film that has completely rattled me ever so slightly, and honestly it's been stuck in my head ever since I watched it last night. I'm talking about Bring Her Back, the brand new 2025 horror film from Danny and Michael Filippo, the same guys who scared the life out of us all with Talk to Me. Let me just say this, they've outdone themselves again, but in a very different way this time. Alright, before I get into the full breakdown, here's my quick take. Bring Her Back isn't your typical horror movie. It's deeply emotional, painfully tragic, and then out of nowhere it just gets brutal. It doesn't rely on jump scares every 5 minutes. Instead, it creeps under your skin and makes you feel the horror of grief, obsession, and desperation. It's slow burn, it's psychological, and it's genuinely disturbing. I'm actually still processing some of the things that I saw in this film. The story centers around teenage siblings Andy and Piper, played by Billy Barrett and Sora Wong. After losing their dad, they're placed in the care of a foster mother named Laura, played by Sally Hawkins. Now, she's warm at first, almost a bit too warm, you know? You can sense that something's just a little bit off. Eventually, we learn that Laura's hiding a terrifying truth. She's still grieving the loss of her own daughter, Kathy, and she's convinced herself that she can bring her back. And I don't mean that just, metaphorically. We're talking rituals, possession, and some truly twisted behavior. So let me just quickly talk about the cast because, wow, Sally Hawkins, she is phenomenal. She's one of those actors who can just say so much without even speaking. The way she plays Laura is subtle, it's heartbreaking, but it's also terrifying at the same time. I found myself feeling so conflicted with her character. Like, I understood her grief, but then she just goes to these horrific places, these horrific lengths, and you start to feel sick watching it unfold. Billy Barrett as Andy was incredible. You can see the panic and the protectiveness, the confusion that's all over his face. And, Sora Wong, she blew me away. Her portrayal of Piper, who's blind, never feels like a gimmick. She's strong, she's smart, and she's grounded in a way that gives the movie heart. And then, of course, there's Oliver, a mute little boy that Laura has apparently taken in. He barely says a word, but every time he is on screen, you're uncomfortable. So this movie's not just about scary things that go bump in the night. It's about grief. About trying to fill a void that can never be filled. Laura, she is just so lost in her pain. She will literally do anything to bring her daughter back, even if it means destroying other children's lives. It made me think, what would we do if we had the chance to undo a tragedy? Would we go too far? Would we justify the unjustifiable in the name of love? That's the horror of this film. Not the ghosts, not the rituals, but the desperation. There's also a lot of symbolism around blindness and silence, because you've got Piper, who is blind, but you've also got Oliver, who is mute. And then you've got Laura, who's emotionally blind to what she is doing. It's all very layered, very cleverly. Alright then, it's time for a little bit of spoilers. Not too many, but there's going to be some. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to go in blind, pun intended, skip this part of the video. Okay, major spoilers ahead, so here's where it gets really messed up. Laura's convinced that Piper is the perfect vessel to bring Kathy's soul back, so to make that happen, she starts performing these rituals. One of them involves Oliver, or Connor, as we later, learn later on in the movie. She ends up feeding him Kathy's hair and then the rest of her face later on in the movie. And then, yeah, he ends up vomiting it all back up in this grotesque ritual. It's disgusting and sad, but it's actually genius in the horror writing. But she ends up killing Andy, like killing him. That was the moment where I went from feeling sorry for her to being absolutely horrified, because I absolutely loved Andy's character. I think he was my favourite character in the whole movie. She also ends up, trying to drown Piper, trying to complete this ritual, and just when you think it's all over, Piper starts calling to her, reminding her of who she is. It is one of the most emotionally heavy climaxes I've seen in horror in a very long while. And the very final scene for me was so disturbing, but also very tragic and sad. It actually made me cry. So guys, make sure you've got tissues ready for this horror film. There's also some other horrific scenes that you see in this movie. There's actually a horrific scene involving, the little mute boy Oliver and a knife and his mouth. And oh god, there's also like another scene with Oliver that involves the edge of a wooden table and his teeth. God. Even the videotapes that Laura is forcing little Oliver to watch, but basically they're videos of all these different rituals that I'm assuming that she has bought off the dark web or something. Even that is just so grotesque and horrific to watch. Visually, this movie is haunting. I mean, the way the Filippo brothers use shadows, the framing, and the stillness is just so masterful. You never feel safe. Even in the daylight, there's like this sense of unease. Aaron McCliskey's cinematography really captures that trapped feeling, especially inside Laura's house. Also, the score in this movie is very chilling, and the sound effects, it's not like in your face scary music, it's subtle, emotional, and it really does enhance the storytelling. This film has actually been getting a lot of love, and I'm not surprised. I mean, it currently sits at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that honestly feels right. Critics have praised its depth and emotional horror. I mean, Vogue have even called it a masterclass in maternal madness, and I totally agree. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some people around the world that found it a little bit too grim, like Paste magazine. They ended up saying that it's emotionally relentless, and yeah, it's not a popcorn horror flick, it's heavy, but I think that's what makes this film work. Okay, my final thoughts on this movie. So I think that Bring Her Back is an emotional gut punch disguised as a horror film. It's beautifully made, incredibly acted, and devastating on so many levels. It won't be for everyone. It is disturbing, it is tragic, it is not for the faint of heart, but if you're someone who loves horror and horror films that really hit you in the feels and really make you think about things, then this is a must-watch for you. So on that note, I am going to give Bring Her Back a solid 9.8 out of 10, which is one of the highest scores I have given to a brand new horror movie in a very long time. So that on its own speaks volumes. Okay then guys, well that is it from me today. Have you seen Bring Her Back? What did you think of it? Did it mess you up as much as it did me? Let's talk about it in the comments box below. And also guys, if you did enjoy this movie review today, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss out on my next deep dive into the world of horror. Okay then guys, thank you all for watching, and remember, some things should just stay dead.